In this video, we are going to be carrying on with the character model. We have just finished the arm, and we are going to be moving on to finishing the foot, modeling the foot, should I say. So to begin with, we're going to look at some topology. So one of the first things is we need there to be loops going around this way. So we're going to probably do something similar to one of these two, maybe a bit more shaped than this. But like this, we're not going to do any toes. There is no need for what we're modeling. Most characters have shoes on and things like that, so you don't really see the toes. So don't waste time modeling something more complex than you're going to need that isn't going to be seen. So really, what we're looking for is loops that go around like this, and also loops that go around like this. So from the toes to the back of the heel, and also around the top and the bottom of the foot to the sole of the foot. So looking in the 3D view, what we're actually going to do is we're going to go from the front, and we have 10 edges in the loop. So I'm going to select the front 3, I think. I'm going to go with the front 3. I'm going to select these 3, and I'm going to extrude them forwards, like so. So we're going to go to the side view with those selected, and we're going to pull those down. Now I've just noticed the ankle isn't quite where I want it. And I'm just going to pull that down forwards. And then I'm just going to select these vertices and pull these up. So really, we're not looking for this to come far out. Really, we're just looking for it to come sort of to a point we're happy with, something like that. You can hear at the front. It needs to be a bit more over this way. I'd also say these need to start coming out a little bit to the sides. They're going to be going down like that. Starting to get this sort of shape. Now, what we're going to look to do is we are going to select these front 3 again, and we're going to extrude them again. Hold Shift and drag, and we're going to go to like sort of the top of the toes. Again, it's going to be slightly over. Now starting to think these maybe need pulling in a little bit. These ones need pushing out. Shapes like this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just sort of looking for this sort of shape. It's fine. What I actually would do is select the back 2, so as in this one and the one behind it, and just pull those down and in. And again with these ones here, so it's going to go down like this. Just knock the wireframe back off. So really, what we're looking for is these 2 on each side. So those on each side. We're going to want those to extrude downwards. And hold Shift and drag them down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually rotate these a little bit. So you can rotate them right around if you wish, or use the scale tool on this direction only, just to straighten those up. And just pull them below, maybe back a little bit. Maybe you want to pull, so you drag select to pull these up a little bit. So it's following a bit more of the shape of the foot. Now, again, some people may put in this bone here, but for ourselves, it's not really worth the hassle. If you did really want to do it, you could do this sort of shape, pull one of these edges down, connect it up, and have a loop going around like that. A little bit like the elbow or the knee, but again, we're not sort of looking for that sort of shape. So this is what we're looking for. From the front, again, I would select these along this side, go to the front view, and actually just use the scale tool just to push it out a little bit, just to give it a bit more that arch. Now, one thing you will notice is the further back the foot goes, the further in it's going. Really, that does happen a little bit, but not as much as this. So we're just going to pull these out a little bit more. And actually on the inside of the foot, it kind of curls and then goes back out. So it kind of, this is the outside of the foot, sorry. So on this side, this bit here may be a bit further in, and then it may come back out, sorry. So what we've actually got here is I'm going to pull these, I feel they're a little bit long, but this sort of shape coming down, quite good. So the next shape we're looking for, oh sorry, they're not in that shape. The next thing we're going to do is select the rest of these at the back. So I'm not interested in any of these, just want these ones on the circle that are left behind. And we're going to just shift them down. We're going to push them back a little bit, just because if you look at the heel, you do pull back a little bit like that. And what we're actually going to do, we're going to target weld the verts. Actually, first what we're going to do is we're going to select these back underneath. And we're just going to scale them out a bit because they're a bit thin if you look at it from the back compared to the rest of the foot. Just going to scale those out a little bit. Something like that. Maybe just pull these ones. It's a bit more like so. Now what we're going to do, we're going to target weld these together. So again, you should be getting used to this now. Target welding, moving the verts, extruding. So I'll turn target weld off. So you're getting, again, these around the back may need, sorry, all of these may need shifting over this way. Same even with some of these may need pulling over inwards a little bit. I think that one needs pulling out a little bit. So what you will find is that the foot is almost dipping with the toes. So if you're pulling these over, you'll find is it sort of is higher at this side and sort of dips down. So these will be slightly lower, so going down like so. And this one would be even lower, and it dips like that towards the small toe. And also the small toe pulls in a little bit. So now we've got this, we need to sort of finalize the shape. So we're going to do a couple more extrudes. So we're going to go for the front first, so to try and finish off the toes. So going to select these ones at the front. I'm going to go to the side view and just extrude those to where the toes are going to end. And this bit might need, it will kind of go like this because the toe end is going to be slightly higher up because the toes sort of drop. So then what we're going to do, we're going to actually this edge down, so shift extrude that down, and we're going to scale that down just to get that flat. We're actually going to pull these out a little bit, maybe pull this set back. Again. And then shift extrude this last one down. Again, this curve of the toes, if you will, like so. These are slightly off in relation to this image, so I'm going to pull them over. I need to pull them over a little bit. This is sort of the shape you're looking for. Just like these. Wrong button. I keep pressing the wrong button. There we go. These to be sort of foot shape, sort of fine. You just have to follow it perfectly. I think that's probably a little bit too far out. Looking at it, as you can see, this foot shape's now starting to come into shape. So now we've got this coming down and over. We need to loop this back round. So really what we're looking to do here is have this sort of around and back up the back of the person. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually extrude these back. You might want to give it a little bit of shape, but really these can be flat, if you will. All we're looking to do is sort of line these up with the ones above them, and that will make plenty of sense in a second once we get there. So what we're going to do is we're going to bridge this to this, this to this, so on. So the next one, shift extrude. So it might be raised slightly because it's where the arch of the foot is. So this one's going to this set here. And then to here. Again, just be careful because you don't want the foot arching too much. I actually think this is coming up too high. And I may actually bring this set back down to here and just redo this. So this one's coming out to match up with this one. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to straighten this out. So with the shift tool, straighten that out. So the next one, I have one. Now we've got to be careful because we need to know where this is going to curl up to. So the next one I'm actually going to bring up and pull this out like so. So what we're looking to do is bring this right up, and we're going to start curling this a little bit. So we're actually going to go to the vertices and we're going to target weld. So we're going to target weld from this one, this one, this one. Something strange is going on there. Let me just have a look. Okay, so there seems to be some extra geometry just here. I'm going to finish off this side and I'll deal with that in a second. So I'm just getting these round. This is where they're going to connect up with. This one will be with that one. But here you can see there's some extra geometry. This can happen from time to time. So just to fix this, what I'm actually going to do, I'm just going to select all these faces that are related to it and delete those. And as you can see, there's still these faces. So to check these, what you can do is select, and we can see there's actually something else going on here. So that one's fine. There's still something else going on down here. So let's delete those. I'm going to delete any of these. So obviously something's happened there. Go into the vertices, and still something is going on. So if I pull these down, so again, it seems like that's where the issue seems to be. So we need to fix where this is coming from. So here seems okay, but these seem to be an issue. I'm going to go in and delete these. I'm just going to undo all of them and actually try and select the edges that were there. So that, deleting. It still seems like there's some issues, so I'm just going to try and fix this up real quick. Unfortunately, it's happened in a video, which isn't great. So you can see there's an issue. Is this continuing on? It is. So is that where the issue ends? So it looks like this may be where the issue ends. So I'm just going to delete these. If I move this, that all moves correctly. That's all moving correctly. All correct. It's all correct. So I'm not sure what had gone on there, but what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm just going to select these edges along this side. This one too. And just shift extrude them out. Doesn't have to be far. So, and then I'm going to weld these bricks. This one to this one. This one to this one. Really, if you have any issues, you want to fix them as soon as possible, because it can cause for more and more trouble. Like you've just seen, it took me a while just to fix that little bit there. So yeah, do try and fix those as soon as you can. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shape the foot a little bit more, especially around the heel. So I'm actually just going to try and curve this to follow this flow. So I know this one is going to be, these two at the back are going to be further back. So this one's going to be further back. This one's going to be further in and closer in. So again, I know these are going to be further in. These are probably going to be favoring as well. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm actually just going to bridge from there to there and just select the way down. So it is a bit big, but we can fix that in a minute. So we've got that going around there. It's absolutely fine. Another way to do this is select the whole hole and then just control deselect the ones at the end. Now just looking at this, should we check this? Yeah, that's all fine. Not sure what's going on there. And then we're just going to bridge those. So it closes up the foot. So we have got a foot there. It's very, very basic. What we're going to do, we're going to do some reshaping just to give it a bit more detail. First off, we're going to bring this edge, especially these ones at the back, further down. And try and pull these down just so it's a bit more like this. I feel this is a bit far in, so this needs to come out a little bit. Maybe these two need to be pulled in to give it a bit more shape. Again, you could do the same with the toes and things like that, but I wouldn't worry too much about that sort of shape. Maybe just that one needs to be following the floor a little bit better. Really not too much of an issue. Curl that out. So that's just about tweaking this to get the shape on. Now on this side we can see it clearly way too far out on this side. So I'm going to pull these in and pull that one out. Now you've got this sort of shape. Again, you might want to just check underneath, check these are so following the floor. What you've got here is some loops that go, a loop that goes around like that, and then quite a few loops that go around like this. And even to the point where this will go all the way at the front to here and connect around the back, which is a good loop to have when it's duplicated. I think another loop you'll have is yes, so this goes up the knee and back down the leg, around the back of the foot, at the back, and again we'll connect up. So I'll do that on both sides. So again, you are getting loops there. Now you could leave it like this. This is like a very basic foot, but you may want a bit more curve and things like that. So there's a couple of ways to do that. The way I would suggest is to actually bring these ones here closer to where you want them to be. So when I say where you want them to be, where you want the curve to come into. So maybe bring these back towards the ones at the edge. So, and then what you can do here is we can actually add a loop. So we're going to select this loop and connect them. So I'm just going to scale them out a little bit. So and way a bit more scale. Again, you can then go in and select the vertices that you want. So we're going to go in from this side. We know these need pulling back as well, because they're a bit too far forwards. Which I'm just going to cause that curve to stick out that little bit more. Another thing is you may want these ones at the top, so this sort of section. Maybe just take one side at a time, so deselect these ones. We want these further in. And again, you could do this all the way down to the toes, so you could pull these in. Okay. So again, that's probably going to come in a bit more. That's going to come in a bit more. Just so you're getting a bit more of that shape. Again, I think there's not enough definition here. I think this falls off too far, so I'm going to push this back a little bit and further up. So this is almost straight with this. And what I'm actually going to do is select this loop and connect those like so. And I'm going to select the top vertices, these ones here. I'm just going to pull these right down. I think the foot is following something much more like this. Again, which we are seeing. So you may have something like this. Now, again, it's not perfect. Again, you could just keep tweaking it like so until you get the perfect shape. But I wouldn't worry too much. I think something like this is good enough. I think even just clicking off that, you can see the shape is there. If we press 3, again, it may just be a matter of actually these toes are sticking out too far, or I think one thing we haven't looked at is it from above, so it's quite wide, and generally the big toe comes further out, so really these ones need to come further forwards than these ones at the end. These need to be pushed back. Really the shape of the foot is more like so. Also another thing is these will probably come in quite a bit more than you think. Again, so another thing you could do is stretch it out. So you could take, I think another thing I'm seeing here is these ones aren't high enough. And these ones are probably too high. Again, like this. And then especially the toe section that can be pulled out like so. So again, maybe it's just me being picky, but I think pull these out further, get a bit more of a rotation. So really pull these out, get a bit more of a curve on them. Can go back slightly. This can come out a little bit more, getting a bit more. I think one thing to just be careful of is they're causing quite a bad corner, because these are stuck further out, so really you want those behind. Almost like that. Would be one of my suggestions. So again, press 3. Yeah, you get a bit more of that foot shape. And again, you can keep tweaking and keep tweaking, but for what we need, I think this is working. And I think if we now mirror this, or mesh, mirror, fine. Yeah. So as you can see, we've got quite a nice model now. Again, you may not be happy with things, so like now I'm seeing the feet are probably a little bit off, so you could go in and, you know, tweak that, reshape it. Another thing you may have is sort of a line down the middle, or again, especially the bum and this sort of waist area, we didn't spend too much time on it. So again, you may want to now go in and start tweaking this. I would suggest doing one side at a time, and then, you know, re-fitting this to what you want. I mean, I wouldn't do it like this, but it kind of gives the idea. I'd do, again, say this side, then mirror it. Yeah, that's probably too much, so just about tweaking it to get it to where you want. Remember, it's going to be covered in claws as well, so you don't need to worry too much about details as long as you've got the shape. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. Next video, we will look at modeling the hands to finish off this torso, body part of the character, and then we'll move on to the head.